What's up, guys? Trail here, better known as Budget Bill, and this is your second stimulus check update and stimulus package update for Tuesday, November the 3rd. Today is the last day that you can actually cast your vote in the 2020 election. So be sure everyone on this channel has already casted their vote or planning on standing in line today to cast your vote. You only get one spot. You only get one opportunity. You only get one time to make your voice heard in America. It is a privilege and everyone should take advantage of it. Unless you're my cousin that's incarcerated right now, or you are one of my friends that have felonies and are unable to vote in the election. The month of October has been a crazy month as the presidential election became more heated in the battleground states and because Congress failed to pass a second stimulus package that offers $1,200 stimulus checks to the American people who need it the most. Majority of Americans have lost their faith in the process, while millions of Americans have either lost their jobs, stuck on unemployment benefits that offer less than minimum wage, some facing eviction, while some are unable to afford food to put on their table. Other states have been stepping up to the plate and offering additional assistance to their residents. And this week, we have Orange County, Florida, offering $1,000 stimulus checks to residents that have been affected by the pandemic. Meanwhile, President Trump is threatening to fire Dr. Anthony Fauci after the election. And then we have both presidential candidates pushing their closing arguments of why anyone should vote for them while traveling to multiple states in one day. Those are just some of the topics that we're going to cover today. But before we get started, be sure to go ahead and like this video. If you like this type of content, of course. It definitely helps out, and a lot of this takes a lot of time to research this information and to provide a scaled down version for you guys. Also, if you want to be a part of this community, we would love to have you. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified of each new video. Well, Election Day is finally here, and there are several politicians that are up for election, and they are hoping that you cast your vote for them. Even though for the past 7 months, they have failed to cast their vote for us millions of Americans on a second stimulus package deal. So I'm not sure I want to vote for those candidates anymore. So many lawmakers have failed the American people during this pandemic, and now they are begging for our votes. Well, screw that. I'm casting my vote for all of those in Congress to be removed and let the new people take their spots. Perhaps we can get some people in Congress that actually have empathy, integrity, and capable of bringing all sides to the table to find common ground for the American people. But that's enough of my soapbox, but let's just go ahead and talk about these $1,000 stimulus checks. For those of you living in Orange County, Florida, they are opening up the opportunity to receive $1,000 stimulus checks if you have been affected by the pandemic. This is part of the Orange County CARES Act Individual and Family Assistance Program. Now, in order to qualify for this one-time payment, you must be an Orange County resident. You must have been financially impacted by the pandemic. You must have a photo ID and a Social Security card. And you must submit documentation to show your loss of income by submitting either pay stubs or an employer notice of reduced hours, or either a layoff notice or a furlough notice. I know for some people, $1,000 stimulus checks may not sound like a lot, but for those who have been affected, they know and understand every penny helps out. And those are just those who are struggling right now. This $1,000 stimulus check could allow a family to either stay in their home for another month or so, or it could prevent someone's car from being repoed and unable to take their kids to school. You just never know what other people's situation is. Now, if you meet those qualifications I just mentioned, you need to wake up early on this Wednesday, which is tomorrow, to submit your application. On Wednesday, the portal will begin taking applications at 8 a.m., so don't be late. You know what they say, the early bird gets the stimulus check. And you never know if this money will actually run out. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that if you or someone in your household have received a payment from the Orange County CARES Act Individual and Family Assistance Program in the past, you are not eligible to receive the money this time. It is only available to one person per household. The county has already spent $30 million helping over 30,000 households through this particular program. In other news, back in October, President Trump went on an attack of his top public health expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Trump called Anthony Fauci as a disaster, and he claimed that people are tired of hearing Fauci and all of these idiots discuss ways to combat the virus. Well, on Sunday at a rally, Trump announced that he may end up firing Dr. Fauci after the election. Now, he joked about it and told the crowd not to tell anyone. Of course, in typical fashion, his supporters in the crowd started to chant, "Fire Fauci! Fire Fauci!" Now, Dr. Fauci has been consistently warning the U.S. that coming this winter would bring a spike in virus cases as families start to spend more time together inside. Also, Fauci pushed the notion that if everyone would just wear a mask, the number of cases would eventually curve back down. Well, the president was not a fan of anything that Dr. Fauci had to say, as he was pushing his own message that the U.S. is around the corner from beating the virus. Now, the virus cases have been increasing rather rapidly in the United States and don't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. As of November the 3rd, we have a total cases of around 9.1 million and a total deaths in around 230,000. But in the last 7 days, we have had an increase of more than 500,000 cases reported. But of course, this could be related to the U.S. is actually testing more right now. And then on the final election day eve, both Joe Biden and Donald Trump appeared at several battleground states with less than 24 hours before the election day, and with a staggering 90 million Americans have already casted their votes. Both candidates gave their closing remarks in the last effort to get you to vote for them. According to The Hill, Trump's remarks sought to cater to his base with attacks on media figures and his political opponents. He portrayed Biden as mentally incapable of handling the presidency and claimed the former vice president would implement a, quote, prison state to control the virus pandemic if elected. And then Biden's remarks tried to appeal to a broader swath of Americans as he pledged to unite the country. The Democratic nominee focused on the pandemic, assailing Trump's response to it, and promising to listen to the advice of the scientists. Biden categorized Trump as being divisive, dangerous, and unfit for the Oval Office. Meanwhile, the current polls show candidate Joe Biden having a slight edge over President Trump in the key states. Trump is facing challenging poll numbers, but he remains confident of pulling off a second straight victory. I know for myself, I will be so glad when this is all over. Maybe we can actually go back to some form of normalcy and no one has to fight with their best friends anymore about who they are voting for or who they are not voting for. This has been a super crazy year and it's almost over. We have less than 2 months before we can dream of a brighter new year in 2021. At this point, we can only hope for the best. We are in challenging times right now while dealing with the pandemic. Our economy is on the brink of collapse. Millions of Americans are unemployed and struggling right now. And we still have viewers watching my videos without hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Outside of all of that, this has been your second stimulus check update news for today. Now, if you enjoy these type of videos, please give it a like, as it definitely helps out the channel. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be a part of this community. Other than that, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.